Alright everyone, I figured I'd do a follow-up on the video I did as far as the Icon snap-on debate. A few of you wanted to see what other wrenches I had. I haven't decided how I'm going to go about doing that yet, but I figured I'd start here. This particular set is a standard set, 6-point. It was made by Bonney. I have had this set for probably 25 plus years. It was manufactured over 30 years ago. It was manufactured in the US. I'll take you over a few things I like about them, the quality of them, and I'll even have a couple snap-on wrenches that we can compare it to as far as length and the quality of the tool and everything else. I don't use this set very much. You can see I have it on a ring here. This is like a clevis or a pin for a hitch. Being 6-point and standard, I don't use them as much. The time I purchased them in the early to mid 90s, everything was neither standard or metric, or had metric heads with standard bolts, or vice versa. Even some of the Buick stuff and Chevrolet stuff used to have standard bolts in the oil pan. They would be metric threads with a 3/8 head on the bolt, standard. So reason for actually purchasing these back in the day is it was very common to use them, and if you had a rounded out bolt on a Chevrolet intake or something like that, you couldn't get a socket on it. You couldn't get a 6-point socket on it. So if you're using a 12-point socket and trying to get something off and you stripped it out with a 12-point wrench or 12-point socket, this was pretty much your only option other than a pair of vice grips back in the day. So I purchased these. So let's go ahead and take one off and we'll take a look at them. You can see the USA logo. I'll try to focus on that. 3/8 Bonney. You see the part number. You see even back then they had this V groove in here. And Torque's channel has done a few reviews on wrenches that have this, and this does nothing for getting the bolt off or gripping the bolt any better. It's nice in theory, but it didn't really accomplish anything. But you see the chrome is held up on these very well. It is a 6-point design. And there is no kind of flink drive. I shouldn't say that. There probably is some kind of flink drive in here in the corners. Because Bonney is the original patent holder for the flink drive system for the 12-point socket system. So there might be some kind of flink drive on the end of these. But Snap-on, I believe, came out with it in 1963, and Bonney started it in 1961. So I don't know who patented it first, but the patent was pending for Bonney in 1961, and Snap-on was pending in 1963. This is a 7/16. We're just going to kind of rush through these real quick. It's the back side of the wrench. That's our 1/2 inch. 9/16. Five eighths. 11/16. and a 3/4. So all in all, I've been really happy with this set. At some point in time, I believe these wrenches were also branded under the Matco name as well. I'm not 100% positive on that because the Armstrongs were almost identical. I don't know if tooling was bought out for them or how that worked. But in the late 90s, these guys were making tools for a couple different brands, and they were owned by a couple different companies. So it's very possible. Like I said, I had a set of Matco wrenches identical to this in metric, and being foolish and younger, trying to leverage a wrench, I broke the ear off of it. So I no longer have that set. I traded them in for a newer set through Matco. I no longer have them, but I do have this set here. And that has nothing to do with the quality of it or anything else. That when you double a wrench and something like that, you're actually abusing the wrench by doing that. They do have tools that will actually leverage it further up here, wrench extenders that will leverage it up here to where you won't break the ear off of this. And that being said, I've not only done that on these particular brand of wrenches or Matco wrenches, I've done this on snap-on wrenches too. So this has nothing to do with the quality of it. When you do something like this, you're actually using the tool. So, but like I said, overall I've been very happy with this set, and I figured I'd share this with you guys. As I said, if anybody was interested in seeing any of the wrenches I had, I would share them with you, and that's what I'm doing today. We will be comparing these to a snap-on wrench. We won't be abusing them in any way or trying to break them, but we'll be comparing the links, the open end and the boxed end, and just to give you an overall idea of the quality. So what I have here is snap-on wrench, 16 millimeter, 6-point. This does not have the flink drive on it. I probably had these just as long as those, maybe a shorter amount of time. This is a 5/8. This is the closest we're going to get to a standard wrench anyways. But you can see there's not much difference in these wrenches, other than this V down here and maybe the length. The length is just a little bit shorter. Same offset, basically the same thickness on the beam. Snap-on might have a little more width here. This Bonney might be a little thicker around the boxed end. And obviously, like I said, it does not have that V. What I have here is a 14 6-point. The closest thing that we'll have to that would be a 9/16. And again, we'll lay them over top of each other. You can see the length is just a little bit shorter for the Bonney. Side by side comparison, one over top of each other here. You can see there's really very little difference between these two wrenches. And the beam, the 15-degree offset, there's very little difference. Like I said, it may be a little thicker around the boxed end of this Bonney versus this 6-point here. And as long as I'm holding this here, I do have standard wrench. It is not a 6-point. Same deal. This 9/16 is longer. This is a snap-on wrench made in the USA. You see that this does have the flank drive system on it. And these were bought because, yes, these are a more superior wrench. These will grab a bolt that is stripped out. This is something that came out from Snap-on, and it was a real game changer for a lot of mechanics. Wasn't wasn't very many manufacturers that you could grab an open end of a bolt and turn it off and not have it spread out or roll out. Even if the head of this didn't spread out, it would actually roll the corners of the bolt. So this was a big game changer. These came out, and just about every mechanic has a set of these in their toolbox. The only downfall to them is that they will leave some marks on bolts. But the biggest thing is this wrench right here is literally a quarter of the cost of what this guy was. It'll do the same job. It's been around 30 years plus and still functions to this day. So everybody says that you have to buy Snap-on quality because of the virgin steel, their blend of steel and everything else. I don't feel that that's true. Even to this day, even though you can't find very many manufacturers that are actually manufacturing things in the U.S. today. Do I feel this wrench right here is worth, $60, $70? No, I don't. Especially when I can go out and buy a full set, from Harbor Freight for $60, $70. It's made in Taiwan. That functions just as well as this wrench. I'm not saying it functions better, but it'll definitely get the job done. We got a 5/8 here. So again, just a little longer. All the same features. This is a flank drive one as well. I'll go over this 3/4. I don't have a 3/4 wrench here to actually compare it to. At least I didn't bring it over here to the top here, the tabletop. So, but this particular wrench right here is a 3/4 wrench, 6-point. Like I said, this set of wrenches was probably a quarter of the cost of what a Snap-on wrench was. And to top it all off, these manufacturers of this wrench have been around since 1877, all the way up to the late 2000s. And the person that bought them out was Snap-on. They bought the patent rights out on them. They never done nothing with them, as far as I know, or anything else. But obviously, if they're that much of a threat to a large company like that, obviously this is a pretty good tool, I would say. It's done me well over the past 30 years. Like I said, I don't use it as often as what I used to. But this tool has made me a lot of money. It didn't cost me a lot of money when I bought it. I actually bought it used from a Matco dealer. And I bought a brand new set of metric from him at that particular time. Like I said, I broke the ear off of one of them and traded them in for a newer set. Kind of wish I still had them. Always liked this design, layout. Even as a kid, I remember Bonney tools, Wright tools, SK tools. SK was a big thing back then. SK Wayne, Snap-on has always been a big thing, but not everybody could afford Snap-on. So I mean, anywhere you went, you always seen Wright tools, Bonney tools, SK tools, all made in the USA. So the whole Snap-on, icon thing, I would say buy what you want. If it gets the job done, it makes you money, I would, go with that. I'd spend your money wisely, especially in this economy. There's still a lot of good tools like this out there on eBay and other places. Back when I broke this particular wrench, eBay wasn't, a thing. So nowadays, if you break one of these wrenches, you could probably source one, from somebody selling something they consider to be rare on eBay, and you probably will purchase this or purchase a partial set to replace these. I don't know. I'll let you guys form your own opinion. But as far as the icon, snap-on debate, I wouldn't buy into it. And like I said, this is more of just a comparison to show you guys what's out there and show you part of my wrench collection. Or this would be a start to it anyways. I haven't decided how I'm going to go about doing that. Maybe I'll just take a couple wrenches of each set that I have and show you what I have. But like I said, just spend your money wisely and, buy something that's going to make you money. I ain't saying Snap-on tools won't make you money, but you don't have to break the bank doing it. So, if later on further in your career, because a lot of people don't stick to turning wrenches, so later on in your career, if you want to make a lifetime career out of this, I would say, yeah, definitely buy a set of Snap-on wrenches. They've done me well. They've lived up to their reputation as far as their flank drive. But until I knew this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life, I wouldn't break the bank. So, let you guys form your own opinions. Like I said, give me a like, share, and subscribe. If there's anything else you guys want to see and I might have it, let me know. Drop a comment below. Till then, I'll talk to you guys later. Appreciate it. Have a good night.